Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi zidni ilma, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm your science teacher, Aksa Faisal. This is going to be the third lecture in week 2, and the topic is living things and their environment. Our ongoing topic is decomposers. What are decomposers? They are basically a very small and tiny living things, living organisms such as ants, flies, fungi, and bacteria. Fungi and bacteria are very tiny organisms which can only be seen with a special microscope. Basically, decomposers break down the dead bodies of animals and plants into smaller parts. Decomposers are necessary since they recycle the nutrients to be used again by the producers. Without decomposers, the earth would be covered with the litter. They release the chemicals from dead organisms into the soil and so help to keep the soil fertile. Our next topic is food chain. What is food chain? Before understanding the food chain, we have to understand the value of food and the process of food chain. All animals need food to live, and food gives them energy to grow. Obviously, animals have different feeding habits, like animals depend on plants and other animals for their food. So, food is very much necessary for all living beings. Then, what is food chain? Food gives energy to the living things. Energy goes from one plant or animal to another. Each time an animal is eaten, some of its energy is passed on to the animal that eats it. The way in which living things are linked together basically by their food is called a food chain. Like food is being passed away from one organism or consumer to the next organism, living being or consumer. This all process is called a food chain. A food chain shows how all living things depend upon each other. If one part of the food chain is destroyed or broken, it will affect the other plant or the animal as well. Then there are four main parts of the food chain. The one is sun, then the producer, then consumer, then decomposers. Our next topic is food web. What is a food web? Basically, or we can say normally, food webs consist of a number of food chains meshed together. Different food chains are not separate from each other. Consumers often eat more than one kind of food, and so several food chains connect to form a food web basically. So, the food web is based on different food chains. Like, for example, in our next slide, I have given a picture in which you will be able to see the food web, how it works, and what does it actually looks like. So, there is a grass, and the grass is being eaten by a grasshopper, a fly also, and a moth also. So, there are different food chains which are included in one food web. So, basically, the connection or the channel of food chains are called a food web. Dear students, now I want you all to open up your books, page number 53, and attempt the question number 3 on your books. We are given a food chain and we have to tell which one is herbivore, carnivore, consumer, and a producer in the given food chain. So, while doing this question, keep this thing always in your mind that every plant would be the producer, okay, and the immediate thing or insect or whatever that can be is herbivore, which is taken the plant directly, that is called herbivore, and the one who is taking the herbivore is called consumer. And cat is carnivore here because the cat is uh, eating flesh. Students, this is the worksheet which you will receive soon along with your result cards. and you just have to put arrows into the boxes and complete the food chains. That's it. Dear students, I had already provided you this worksheet in the last week, and that was the empathy. But now I want you all to attempt the worksheet, and this is the water cycle, which I have already provided you the link also, so you would be able to understand more in detail what the water cycle is, and I have also explained more in detail what the water cycle was basically. So what is the water cycle? This is explained here, and the process. Dear students, this is the first question in your books. Write down the question and the answer of this question in your notebooks. Students, now I want you all to read out page number 45, 46, and 47, in which we have discussed the topic of food web, food chain, and decomposers. And then do attempt question number 3 on book page number 53. Then write down answer of the question number 1 in your notebooks. Then attempt the provided worksheet of water cycle and food chain. That's all about today's lecture. Thank you so much. Take care, stay home, stay safe.